teachers in the game. You know what I'm saying? Brother Dawud Bey, what's up with you?
Man, taking it easy. You know what I'm saying? The Phillies on, man. It's like the seventh inning, man. They down 4-2. They got two
Right.
people on base. So I
Right.
left that, you know what I mean, to talk boxing because I love boxing. I can't help it.
And I appreciate that. Hey, listen, a little bit about yourself. You know what I mean? You can give them whatever you want, but a little bit about yourself and your career as a trainer.
As a trainer, um, I've been a head trainer for 6 years. In the amateurs, I did a couple pro fights with Mr. Rev and stuff like that. Um, won like 22 championships 6 years amongst maybe 7 kids. I had 7 kids that I crossed over, um, ranging from like age 17 to 11 years old. The youngest one I got right now is 11 years old.
Yeah.
And, he won the Junior Olympics. He's like a little bit ahead of where all the rest of them were at that age because I'm a little bit better as a coach. So it's
Mhm.
like, it's like the second time around and stuff like that. And, what I mean? Program is doing pretty well. My son is doing pretty well. He's ranked number one in the country at 114. He's also ranked number two at 119 and ranked number two still at 110 because of points accumulated. And he went to the Junior Golden Gloves this summer and fought at 125 and he won that. So
Yeah.
he's doing good. And you know what I mean? The other ones, they just coming along, as they come along.
So what do you think I'm gonna say dealing with the amateurs because that's for me right now. That's your specialty. I believe you could be a pro coach any day, but you kind of got your hold. You kind of got a hold on amateur boxing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What would you say most important is when you're dealing with the developmental stages of these guys still being in school, still got to go home with their mothers and fathers and stuff like that, but then they got to listen to you. Come gym time. What would you say is the most important thing?
The most important thing with them is like discipline. You know what I mean? Because you're raising young men. So, and they like a little rough because they boxers, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You ain't raising like, you know what I mean? It's like the more you keep them disciplined, the more they're in position to receive instruction, rather in a boxing gym or at home with their parents when they're not even with me, right? So the things I teach them, the disciplines I give them, you know what I mean? I try to leave them open for instruction. The more open you are for instruction, the more you could be guided in the right direction. That's kind of like my base of my thing, how I do what I do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just something I got from my father.
And I was getting ready to ask that. What would you say your background in boxing was? How did
Oh,
you
my
earn that?
dad, my dad used to coach my cousin and my brother, and I was like, you like when you see Fats and Rail, you see how like Fats runs around. Sometimes he trains, sometimes he don't. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Sometimes he go to all the events with his dad. He's just in the boxing. He love boxing, but he don't always feel like boxing. And
Yeah.
they don't put no pressure on him because Sheem is the one who boxes. You see what I'm saying? And it's like with that kid, like that's me. But I was like a drummer, a basketball player. I did martial arts. So like I did all of these things like kind of at a high level too. I was pretty good at them. So my
Yeah.
pop used to be like, people that been in boxing for a while be like, man, I don't want my son to box. Like I don't really like, you know what I'm saying? He used to have that attitude. I think my brother kind of broke his heart because my brother was, you know, doing stuff or whatever, and you know what I mean, and wound up getting in some trouble and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of just made him like not really want to, you know, go through the whole thing again. But I maybe I was the one that loved boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I with me, it's like I still enjoy boxing like when I was a little kid and I go to the gym and be played around. Like I enjoy it like to that level. So I think that's a lot of what like that's like what fuels my fire. And then me just wanting to keep the kids like out of trouble. Cause like I grew up like in certain programs and I look at the neighborhood and I don't see like the right kind of like activities to keep the kids out of trouble. It's almost like they set up to get into some dumb stuff, go do a looting and get in trouble. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm stopping a couple jokers from looting every day.
Mm. What what would you say? All right, let's fast forward a little bit. What would you say was the thing that made you make your mind up and say, you know what, I'm gonna be a coach?
It wasn't really me. It was like it was the old heads at the gym. I was teaching my son at home, you know what I'm saying? And his bike got stolen. And when his bike got stolen, he got mad and he wanted to go to the gym. So I took him to the gym and I tried to give him to my old head. And he trained him for like 30 minutes that day. And I was like, yo, that's not enough because he used to doing like an hour. So can I work with him? And he like, yeah, go ahead. And they just sat back and I was training them. And then when I got done, they was like, all right, see you tomorrow. And when I came in tomorrow, they like, all right, you gonna train them. So I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, I want y'all to train them. Like, I'm not no trainer. Like, I know what I know. This cool. I'm not no trainer. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, well, if you that humble and you got this, how you got it, I'm gonna show you. Like, you're gonna do it because nobody else not gonna really do what you're doing right now. Like, you got him to a nice point. I had put him together pretty well, right? And so
Yeah.
he just didn't have no experience boxing people. So they kind of Mr. Rev and 40 and them, they kind of just made me. You know what I mean? And I think it was the what it really was it was a group of kids in the gym at the time, and it was more kids coming in the gym and them being how they are and where they at. You know how Rev is. He ain't fit to deal with it every day. He ain't fit to, you know what I'm saying? So he like, I guess like he needed somebody to do that. And I just like it all just coincided because Mr. Rev knew my parents for like 50 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't like, you know what I mean? So he's like somebody that I knew behind knowing. And so it all kind of just
So what
coincided
would you
together.
what would you say was the point that you realized you had something being the coach that you was like actually good at it?
Um, all right, so you coaching people, kids, you try not to get them beat up, right? And so being obsessive about that and also having help, because Ed, Dennis, and Mr. Rev, they helped me. You know what I mean? They ain't just tell me what to do. They put in work with them too. You know what I mean? But at the time, it's a group of like 6 kids. Also, the kids' dads is there, right? So we all like working together. But I kind of figured out I was on to something. I figured out that like I was good at guiding them through the fights. And since they was all little and we all started together, we was kind of like on the same page. So it was like playing video games. I was like pressing X and they was doing stuff, and I was pressing Y and they was doing stuff. And because it was a group of them, they was getting good fast because they had each other to
Mm.
box, and that was essential in it. And then I had like people around like Jimmy George, who Jimmy George and Toddy Lawrence and Raheem Lawrence,
Yeah.
they was already doing what they was doing in the gym in the amateurs. And PJ, Point Dexter Knight and Point, they was all doing
Yeah.
what they was doing already. And they kinda had showed me like, you know what I mean, go here, go to nationals here, go to the little punk ass tournament, win that. If you don't win it, but you get some experience, then take you to nationals. So they kind of just showed me, you know, how to move an amateur fighter, because that's like an important part of being an amateur coach. You know, when you're in the pros, the coach not necessarily moving the fighter no more. You know what I'm saying? The people are, but when you're in the amateurs, you know what I mean. For me, it's like three aspects of coaching. You know what I'm saying? You have uh the teaching or the training, which people like to like. You know what I mean? They use it as a knock, like, oh, he's a trainer. He ain't no teacher. He ain't no coach. But the trainer's important because the trainer the one that make you sharp. You make sure your feet ain't too wide apart. Make sure your hands in the right place. Make sure when you moving your head, you're not outside of your knees. You're not leaning forward. These things, right? That's training. That's one aspect. The second aspect is guiding somebody through the fight. You know what I mean? You might see, I see people, they real good at training fighters, and then, but when it come to guiding through a fight, they might not be real good in that minute. You know what I mean? Just
That's what
understanding not to give too much instructions, get straight to the point, knowing when to push him, when to be cool with him, when to cuss him out and tell him like, you know what I mean? Man, you come back to this corner, I'm not even going to be in this joint. I'm not playing with you like that. Like you
right.
know where I'm gonna go, what strings I'm gonna pull, like that. And then the third one is like moving the fighter, what fights to put him in, when to do it. You got a kid. He doing all right. He might beat two kids that ain't that good. You put him in a fight that's like an even fight. He win that. I might go fight the hard kid that I know you can't beat. But I want to see how good you do. You see what I'm saying? It just depends on that kid. And some of them, you might not want to do it to them like that because like the way they confidence or the way how they are, you might want to carry it another way. I've had kids that you could throw in the fire and they be with it. And then it was certain ones it was like, yo, let me take my time with him. I ain't, you know what I mean? But I I, I got a couple of several of them multiple championships. So you know what I mean. We figured some things out and we get better every day.
Cause I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna be honest. Even though you've been in the game, how long would you say you've been in the game?
As a coach or just around boxing.
I mean, as a coach.
As a coach, Salim was 8.
So you say what, 8 years?
Yeah, he's 16.
So for my time, I've been boxing since I was 12 years old. The last time I seen something like this where a guy had a team of guys go to a national and come back with multiple nationals was Brother Nazim. Now, the, the, the thing the thing I may understand or may not understand his background, but I never heard of him actually being a fighter. For me meeting you because we're the same age, I've never known you for being a fighter. But I have always given you my respect because I see you play your part, but I see you elevate in a way where you don't see a lot of guys in their 30s put together a team like this. You know what I mean? So it remind me a lot of Brother Nazim. And we was talking about the other day the difference between a teacher, a trainer, and a coach. You know what I mean? Some people may not be clear on it. I may have a different definition of that. I want to know what's your definition of the three.
Um, a teacher. All right. So you know how like when people say experience, right? How can you be a teacher without certain experiences, right? But like my mother was literally a teacher, and then she was a tutor after she was a teacher. She was tutoring people too. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of like I understand how to relate information, right? And then I see my brother, my father, and you know what I mean. He's coaching and stuff like that, and I'm in the gym and stuff, and so I'm watching them teach guys. I'm watching guys not be able to get it. I'm watching some people be able to get it. Sometimes I'm understanding where they get it at, where they're not. It's like something that I got good at. I just have like a knack for it, right? And so I approach coaching and teaching my kids like a teacher would in school. You know what I'm saying? It's like how I get the information across to them, how I try to make it for them to be able to receive it. I try to lay it out simple and then build it up, right? And then I have to learn their learning styles. So you watching every fighter or whatever, especially when you're dealing with kids, and I'm learning how you receive information. I have some of them I barely talk to, like Fats. I don't really say anything to. When I'm training them, literally, when he boxing, I'm talking to him. When I'm training him, I'm just like positioning my hand and it's going down because he already know what it is. I'll throw something at him, and when he get out the way, he come back a certain way because he already know what it is. I train him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He's trained. I taught him things, and the things I taught him are lined up. He's trained to pull on certain tools depending on what you gave him, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm a teacher, right? But then if you was to ask somebody that's like a boxing lifer, they might not agree. I really don't care, but that's how it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't we when we get on opposite sides of the apron, we'll see.
Right. This conversation is interesting to me because I'm a fighter who was still fighting when I began coaching. You know what I'm saying? And then my career kind of took off fucking with Gabe in 2014. I started coaching the end of 2012. So a year later, basically, I'm fucking around with Gabe Rosado at a high level. You understand? Not the highest,
Yeah,
but it's at
no,
a
in the mix though, in the mix. I remember, bro. I remember. That's when I got
and
out. I remember.
and a lot of people saying, well, how the fuck did Greg get there? And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, nobody love boxing more than me. You know what I'm saying? It's in my eyes. You know what
Right.
I mean? But then building a relationship with you, I'm like, it is other motherfuckers who love boxing like me. But what make it more interesting is I don't remember you fighting. So I'm like, I was always intrigued on how your brain worked and how you see things because I gotta respect the guy who hasn't competed. Yeah, he's boxed before. He got in the ring sparring maybe, but hasn't really competed, but able to compete as a trainer, a teacher, a coach on this level. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love this conversation because I feel like it's about to get deep. And I'm saying this because go ahead.
No, I was about to say winning energy transfers, man. As long
Yeah.
as you got proper information. Like I ain't fall out the sky and I listen and I learn. I sat under Mr. Rev and Sloan every day. I used to be buying Sloan hoagies and shit just so he could like teach my son while I go to the store. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I'm that boy, and then I come back and watch him do the shit and be like, yo, why you do that? Why you do this? Why can't I do this? I think I want to do this. Why you keep saying don't do that? You see what I'm saying? I act like that. Not and I already have information, but I'm just like throwing everything up against the wall. I don't have a way, Greg. I think that's probably what makes me a good coach is I'm not stuck to my way. Boxing is pride and ego in boxing to the way is like your coach believes in what he teach and how he teach it, and that's the way he see it, right?
mm,
The way I see it is win, right? So I can have a kid act like a Mexican. I can have a kid act like Floyd. I can have a kid act like Julio Cesar La Cruz. I may have shown him different aspects from all of these guys for different reasons because I believe that every question has an answer, right? So um you could be slick, but you could have a hard time with the guy that gets his foot in between your feet and run the Chavez game on you, right?
mm,
Well, I'm gonna teach you how to combat that too. But that's gonna be outside of what naturally a slick fighter likes to do. I'm not confined to what a slick fighter naturally likes to do. I'm confined to winning.
yeah.
I don't care about none of that. And that's how I kind of teach from that. Right. So I have a style and a way that I see boxing. When you watch my son box, when you watch Fats box, even when you watch Suave box, you kind of watching my ideas. When you see them, you really looking at like that's what the fuck's going on in my mind, right? But I got other kids that don't fight the same way. They have different attributes, so on and so forth, and I try to pull on those. I try to put them in position to be successful, not make them fight like my son, because that's the way I think it should be. Even though that is the way I think it should be, but Chavez way gotta work somehow because he won 80 something goddamn fights before he even lost one.
Mm,
See what I'm saying?
yeah.
So what's to that? And what can we take from that? Know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You see the Cubans boxing, what's to that? And what can we take from that? When you see, you know what I mean? That's how I am. That's how my mind works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think me being open-minded like that, I think it kind of works over well for my kids and you know what I mean, the guys I work with and teach.
With that being said, right? Do you think if a guy is willing to take on a coaching job, do you think he should educate himself first or just say fuck it and jump in?
No, bro, it's hard, bro. You can't just like sometimes I don't even you know me, like you know me personally. Like we had these certain conversations offline already, but like I don't even like talking all of the time because I don't even want people to get it twisted. I be understanding how the boxing lifers feel because it be like new guys, dads, people like in my position. I wouldn't say they was like me because they ain't win no 20 championships. That
Mm,
shit hard. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say they was like me, but I'm not no different from them too. You see what I'm saying? To keep it 100, like right, I don't elevate myself nowhere. You know what I mean? I ain't tripping up myself, but success should be recognized. You know what I mean? That being said, it's like sometimes guys will come in and sit around for like 1 year and think they know everything. They getting the kid beat up, putting pressures on him. The kid know more than you know. You telling him to do something is wrong. He can't tell you, Dad, you wrong,
mm,
because he gonna get in trouble for that. He's scared of the car ride home. You know what I'm saying? And like, but you wrong, but you in here not listening to the coach. So the coach get fed up with you. So now you doing it yourself. You getting somebody tagged all up. It's your son though.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it'd be a lot of that kind of stuff going on, and people moving in ways that you're not supposed to move in boxing. I know how you're supposed to move because of my father and stuff like that, but like certain people, coming in the gym, just taping sparring, not asking, doing like stuff that you ain't supposed to do. You know what I
Right.
mean? One time I'm in the gym, a dad come in there and tell somebody else fighter, get dressed. You know what I'm saying? I see the situation. I'm like, hold up, bro. Like, you don't do that. Like, cause this person used to be at Schuler's. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm like, cuz, you don't be doing that in front of Mr. Buster and them, bro. I know you don't. He coached my cousin. He don't even play like that. You feel
Right.
me? So why you gonna come down here and try to do some slick? Like, come on, cuz. Like, that's against boxing right there. Tell somebody fighter get dressed and spar and he not even in there. Like, that's the kind of stuff like that the lifers be like, yo, y'all coming around and y'all fucking the game up. You know what I'm saying? And like I be understanding that shit. Like I you know me, I don't do that kind of stuff. You know
Yeah.
how I ride. You know me, but
What
I be
about
understanding it. And then at the same time, it be people hating on people that's just trying to do what they do. People like
right?
me, people like Abdul Haq, him and Zach, they just do it what they do. Like they be humble, bro. Zach
Yeah.
got like 12 championships.
Yeah. Real
So
shit.
how you can't say he don't know what he doing? I know
Yeah.
people been in boxing 20, 30 years. They ain't even did that. They ain't
Yeah.
never had one kid do that.
Cause
You know what
that's
I'm
true.
saying? Like it like
That's true
so
because I'm gonna tell the truth. I never even been to an amateur national as a fighter or as a coach.
Lil Zach got like 12 of them joints. He been winning them shit since he was 8. I really watched the whole thing.
Right.
I saw them the whole time. Like you see what I'm saying? Really got like you see what I'm saying? So it's like it's people who figure out how to do their thing, have success. I mean, you look at Bill Haney,
I was now hold
Enzo
on.
Calzaghe.
Slow down though. Cause that's what I wanted to talk about next. How do you feel honestly about Bill Haney's situation with Devin Haney?
I think Bill is smart. When you watch how he did it, he kind of had Devin around like multiple greats, like multiple great boxing minds with hella experience. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He got it. His son, how he did the internet differently, and him doing the internet differently with them traditional boxing people would do. It allowed him to get more exposure and become famous faster on his own. Go to Mexico, come back from Mexico, get joint ventureship with Eddie Hearn, and really get some paper. He pulled the
Mm.
Floyd at 24. We ain't never
Mm.
see nobody do what Devin and Bill doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the business aspect, and then just being an undisputed champion at 24 years old, bro. The moves
Yeah.
he made that allow him to be in position to be able to get over there on ESPN to get that fight. Like how he had to position himself. Like you see what I'm saying? Because like let's face it, like he know Floyd and them. If he'd have been down with Floyd and Heyman and them, it it might not have the cookie might not have crumbled like that the way it was and where the belts was at in the weight classes. But he
Yeah.
wound up with Eddie Hearn, and then that situation wound up. Then he wound up making a deal with Bob Arum, and look where he at. That's what
Yeah.
him and Bill did,
Yeah.
and they not boxing
100%.
lifers, but again, they respected the game and learned. Like you know what I'm saying. That's what I call myself doing. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. I have several mentors. I talk to people. I pick brains. Great boxing minds and some OGs show me love, you know what I mean? And I just try to learn as much as I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause I gotta protect my son. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
How do you see me as a teacher trainer? What do you see?
Yo, bro, you one of my favorite guys, man. Like not just because I like you as a person,
Hmm.
but I like you pay attention to detail and you be old school with it. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I played basketball and I played drums and I come from like discipline. You see what I'm saying? You don't do what you want. Like fighters not about to tell me what they gonna do. Like you gonna tell me what you gonna do, I'm not even gonna work with you, man. Like I ain't even doing that. Like you see what I'm saying? Cause like when this shit go left, you gonna blame me, cuz. Like you know what I'm saying? And you gonna be talking about why I ain't make you train, why I ain't make you run and all that, but you ain't here telling me if you gonna hit the speed bag or not. Nah, my nigga, you hitting the speed bag, bro. You doing that. Like, let me
Hmm.
get my rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I established these relationships with with the guys I like. They grew up with me.
Hmm.
We grew up together in certain ways, not facts. I'm already, you know what I'm saying? But like Salim and Suave and Tashad and all of those guys, those kids, they grew up with me, man. You know what I mean? As a coach. So we got a certain understanding, like, they do them, and then when it's my time. And it's our program is discipline. As you brought up Brother Nazem, um, one of my elders, his name was Nwangazi Mshindi. That's where I used to take my martial arts at, Mshindi Vita Sahana. Him
Yeah,
and Brother Nazim was close homies. They
yeah,
was from down north. They used to be gang warned and all that. So I've been knew like the concrete jungle, and they used to come down to my martial arts class sometimes, and like, you know what I'm saying, when we used to be having our demonstrations and shit like that. And I was always like fascinated by them. I remember they used to have like the concrete trunks with the yellow belt line. They had their names on them and shit. And Barry
yeah,
used to be doing like a gazillion push-ups and shit. And I was like a fucking ultra fan of that shit back then. And like, but
yeah,
my pop used to be teaching me boxing, but I used to be like, Pop, man, you gotta see these balls, man. And like the teacher Muslim, and he got African principles. Cause like my family, like the same kind of person Brother Nazim is, like I come from that. You know what
right.
I'm saying? And I think maybe that might be what's like the same about my aura, is those same disciplines, that same push, that same drive, that same hand in hand, like teaching of a black man. Like I'm raising young black boys to be strong black men. I have
Yeah,
kids in my program that's not black though. I got a Mexican kid, I got a Puerto Rican kid, I got a kid that's also Puerto Rican and Filipino. So you know what I mean?
yeah,
It ain't about that, but I'm like yeah, I got like that whole thing. Like when you see that red, black, and green shirt and that red, black, and green kufi and all that, yeah, I grew up like that.
yeah.
Straight up.
That shit was crazy. So, who right now in the game is your favorite fighter out of the professionals?
Um, whew. Yo, all right. On some, I like Devon, right? Not because he's necessarily the best, but because he remind me a lot of like my son. It's like the same, like certain parts of it, and just like certain characteristics, even that they have as a fighter, right?
Yeah,
So even before all of this, I always like from the internet and all that. I always like Youngin, but like
yeah,
honestly, Greg, I don't even know who really my favorite fighter was since Floyd, because I was a Floyd and Rigondeaux bull.
yeah,
I like Lomachenko. I like Shakur. I like Dev. Tank can knock you the fuck out. I'm at
yeah,
boxing fan right now because I'm a coach. So
yeah,
I'm at boxing fan. When a fight come up, I'm just comparing the two, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I think he gonna win. I don't have a guy no more. If I got a guy, it's Boots. You see what I'm saying? If I just say it's Boots, then they say I'm biased because I'm from Philly. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? But shit, man, his father and his brother Pooh and them, man, I fuck with them. And not only that, Boots is very versatile. He reminds me of Roy Jones. And Roy Jones was my favorite fighter. Like him and Pernell, they was my favorite fighters before the whole Floyd thing took off. Like, I've
right.
been like, you know what I mean? When I first started watching boxing every day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like frequently, you know how when you're a young boy and you like boxing, but then like you're watching it. When it got to that point, since then I've been like a Roy. Roy was my guy. Boots has a lot of that. He got that power, that speed, that raw athleticism. Like the way he switched. I like,
How
man, the
far?
game. I like where boxing at right now. I just think it's a lot of young guys.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And we just like seeing where the chips fall. Terrence
how,
Crawford proved some shit to me, and
yeah,
I respect him a lot more than I always respected him. Like yeah, we had the conversations, but like I think like Terrence Crawford like showed me, like I would have to put him, if you had like a Last Supper photo of welterweights, he wasn't on that joint, but after that fight, he on that joint.
right.
You know what I'm
How
saying?
far?
And like
How far? How far do you see Boots' career going?
I gotta see what happened with all this Steven Espinosa and they and PBC moving, and see where he wound up at, because it's about what fights he could get.
True, but without the business side.
Yo, sky the limit, because on some real stuff, bro, young boy vicious, man. He vicious, bro. And he really go hard. Like Man, one time he was fighting one of them jokers. He knocked the joker out. Monday, he was in there doing pad work with his Dior's and shit on. Like, you see what I'm saying? He ain't even go like on vacation or nothing. He was like that. You gotta watch people like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Boots one of them guys. Yeah, he for real. You do. You gotta watch my son like that. You gotta watch people like that. My son go to the gym and go train and go to sleep in the gym. I be calling him. I'm looking for him. His mom looking for him, calling me. Where's Slim at? Da, da, da. I call him. He wake up like, oh shit, I fell asleep at the gym. I
Mm,
done came in the gym. He sleep on an apron and shit.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He one of them. You gotta watch people like that, bro. They practice. They be loving boxing. Like,
Yeah, they burnt out.
yeah.
So what you think? All right. So what would you think? What you think was the main factor in the Bud and Spence fight?
Yo, when that bull got out that car, right? I ain't gonna hold you. When he got out that sprinter van, bro, his whole demeanor was like it was off to me. It's been a
Spence.
little while since the fight, so I'ma just really talk about it.
You talking about Spence?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about because you don't want to take nothing from Terrence Crawford, bro. They both young black fighters, bro. On some real shit, I got love for both of them, so I don't want to take nothing from them. I'm not here to do that. I seen Errol Spence fight several times. That person I saw, that's not the person I used to be seeing, and that's what happened. And I'm not saying Bud ain't had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Because at first he was looking all right. He got when he got dropped, that joint hit him like behind the ear. I don't know if he never got his equilibrium, but it was like he was like clumsy and all that. And like I'm not saying he ever had the greatest of footworks or nothing, but Earl Spence always been solid. Like he like
Yeah.
solid. He never really seemed solid in the fight. I'm like, bro, like I don't know. You know, it's been a lot of stuff. I kind of didn't really want to be like the one to be like, oh, you know, there's something wrong with him. You know, but flip upside down in that car like that. You have another car accident. I don't really know about Earl Spence.
Do you
Like,
think? Do
as
you
a
think he
fan
did?
of him, like, I like him.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
really like. I
so do
don't
you?
know. Like, it's
So
not like
after
I don't want to like be disrespectful to nobody or nothing, but like what
but
I
after look,
saw, that person I saw, that's not the person I seen versus Ugas or nothing like that. And I'm not saying Bud Crawford ain't no great fighter, but I done seen them have certain like opponents to where it's though I'm like, yo, I mean, I don't know nobody that wasn't surprised.
so after that, I mean after that fight, do you think he should rematch him?
I don't see what's going to be. I probably, for me as a fan, I wouldn't want to see that. I don't know how much boxing Earl should do, but if he box again, I don't think that really should be the first thing back any old way.
Mm,
Cause I'd never. It seemed like his legs wasn't under him or something to me. If I'm honest, I can't lie about it because that's what I thought I saw.
yeah. Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, if they fought, who you like?
Shakur, see, Shakur, he nice. Like he got a real good distance game. I remember when he came down when he was boxing Brill and all of that shit, and I got to watch him box for a couple days. And as shit goes on, he get harder to deal with. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he get like his timing gets better and his distance and shit get better and it get crazy. Like, but you had to be careful with a guy like Tank, man. And when Shakur, if it was anything I could say, if you do got a chance to get at anything, he when you get up close to him, he ain't really feeling that. It's not he don't know how to deal with it. Of course he know how to deal with it because he been a sharp distance fighter his whole life. So that's always been what people considered the answer to that. So it's nothing he ain't never seen. You know what I'm saying? But you get up in the mix with Tank, man, it just take one jump. And like when you be watching Tank fight, like a lot of the times people do be actually Tank might be like losing rounds. But then something happens and the exchange happens and he wind up catching you. And what you going to do in that moment? Because that's what be happening. You wind up
Mm,
getting caught. It's like the Mike Tyson fight, but longer.
mm.
Remember how the Mike Tyson fight used to be?
Yeah,
It'd
he
be
get
like,
you
yo, the shit start, and you just like, yo, how low can you get away?
right,
Tank
right.
Jones be the same way, but they way longer. They longer, like it be happening later. The Tyson shit used to be early.
How about how about Devon and Regis?
Who? Devin and
Devon,
Regis?
Devon and Regis.
That's gonna be a hard fight, but I I think Devin can outbox Regis. Um, Devin looks bigger. You know what I'm saying? He looked pretty solid. Regis got power. Regis could box a little bit better than people probably been giving him credit for these couple days on the internet. Being honest, because I watched him fight a couple times, right? But I think Devin could beat him though. I would lean to Devin, but it's like 60-40. Some people probably think it's 70-30 or 80, but I think you had to be careful with a guy like Regis, and he a southpaw, and he do
Yeah.
got pop. So you know,
Who do you think is the possibly the best at 140-pound division?
140. You can't forget about To Devin, but To don't be focused. It's probably Devin or To. I like Devin and To right now. Who else there? What you call him from the UK?
You got Subriel Matias. You
Subriel
got Rolly.
Matias.
You got Rolly. You got
No, Rolly
Ryan,
ain't the best. Rolly the fuck out of here. Who?
Ryan, Ryan Garcia going to 140. You got Richardson Hitchens.
Oh, that's my man, Haiti.
You got
They be calling
Kevin.
him Africa around the way, but I no, he from Haiti. He like me. He Haitian.
Yeah, you got Kenneth Sims Jr. You
No, I
got
know Sims.
Gary Antoine Russell.
Where
It's
Gary Russell been at?
he just fought back in I think August. He stopped somebody like in the second round. Not Gary Russell, not the oldest
I
brother.
know who you talking about.
Gary
The other
Antoine.
Gary,
Yeah.
Boots Gary.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all named Gary.
yeah, for sure.
Yo, you said they fucked Salim head up one time because Salim didn't know all of them was named Gary when he first met him when he was like 7 and he was like 8. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, you Gary Russell?" And then the other was like, "No, I'm Gary Russell." Then they ran a game on him. That shit was funny as hell. Them dudes cool though. I like them brothers.
I mean, that's a 140 is a beautiful mix up though.
Yo, 140, yo. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta lean towards Devin and Tio and them though. But
Yeah.
it's a couple like you gotta watch Gary. You gotta watch Gary. Yeah, I mean, you gotta watch Richardson too. You gotta
Yeah.
watch him. You know what I'm saying? But he need a couple more fights though. But you gonna have to watch him. That's a Ryan Garcia is sneaky, wiry power, but he got bad habits. But he gonna be a player in it. That's a nice division, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would lean towards Devin or To though.
Yeah. When you see him time and time again, Mayweather watching him fight, what do you think it is that make him special?
Floyd,
Yeah.
Floyd, um, Floyd just he got like certain disciplines, and he don't come out of them, and like he's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Floyd my favorite fighter, man. Like he became my favorite fighter. Cause to
Hmm.
me, he's the best. But like that's out of evolution, right? If you get to see Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson, and you get to see Roy Jones, and you get to see Purnell, right? And you have certain abilities and you have a certain understanding. You know what I'm saying? I think he was able to like mix a whole bunch of shit in a hat and kind of get it down to a science where he went from being one fighter and transformed into another fighter, and both of them fighters was undefeated.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He went from being high offense and stop you, speed beat you and all that shit. Throw a
Yeah.
5 piece. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? When you supposed to be throwing 2 and 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was getting busy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You seen him in fights like the Corrales fight where he never stopped moving.
Yeah.
They tell you can't win no fight like that in the pros. You better not be doing that. That's amateur shit. You gotta stop. See what I'm saying? You can't be just listening to motherfuckers. You gotta do what you're in shape to do,
Yeah,
not what you trained to do. Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because Floyd breaks stereotypes. He ain't stopped acting the same way he was acting in the Olympics. And he ain't stopped acting like that until 20 something fights in, bro. You can go
yeah,
watch. I watched all that shit. Like, I'm, you know me. You know me. I'm a film dude. I
yeah.
watched all that shit, bro. He ain't stopped until his body said stop. He went
Give
from
me,
trotting as much to walking. He would walk it and trot it and walk it. He several ways he would mix it up. I don't want to get into that too much because that's one of my main joints. But you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Bro, Floyd vicious, man. It's
yeah,
like even like down to like the shit he throw. Floyd throw a lot of right hands, or he throw two pieces. He throw three sometimes, but he really throw two pieces. He leave you with right hands because it's the hardest shit to hit somebody back from. If I throw a right hand at you, if you block it, you're gonna block it with your lead hand. So you only got the backhand. If you throw that, he sink that shit. You're not gonna hit him, right? Or he hit you with the shit, go all the way in and smother, right? Or he throw the shit at you and you move out the way. You see what I'm saying? The only way you really gonna get him is if he shoot it and you slip it and he board himself to you because his hand right. Then you could get him back like on some Maidana shit. You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
How Maidana got him that time. But other than that, them right hands, they kind of leave you safe. If you throw one punch, a motherfucker punch back with you. If you throw three, now you hooking with a hooker. So you watch
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali, you'll see the same principles. If you watch
yeah,
great defensive fighters, you'll see the great principles. You can go watch Nicolino Loche, you'll see the same shit.
yeah,
So it's certain things that I realized about some of these guys, and I was like, yo, this shit kind of would make them good because you can't get them because he keep doing this. And he might give
yeah,
it to you like three different ways, and then you don't know what the fuck. You see what I'm saying? He be having you in
yeah.
pickles. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali too.
Give me your top five all time old head list. Throwback fighters.
I like Ezra Charles. I like Charlie Burley, but it's not that much film. But I always enjoy his seesaw. I like the old black fighters that fight on the seesaw, up on the left side, down on the right side. That old school, that hard ass Sugar Ray Robinson throw an overhand right to the body. You see what I'm saying? And then throw that same overhand right to the head, and now he get you in a pickle because you don't know when he throw it, it look the same way. You'll go to move your head back and your body will be right there and he'll hit you right on your hip with that shit. I
Mm.
love those old fighters like that. I would say Charlie Burley, Ray Robinson, um, of course Georgie Benton. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I said Ezra Charles, and then my number five, Ali, because I would consider him the new school out of that.
Mm. Who's like one of your big influences when it comes to coaching?
What coaches do I look at and like admire their work?
Or yeah, you can say that. Yeah,
Eddie Futch. He beat Muhammad Ali twice with two different fighters with two different styles, but it was because of the same shit. His hand be out of place. Ali hand go out of place. The back one. And
yeah,
he had Joe Frazier take advantage of it with a hook, and he had um Ken Norton take advantage of it with catching the jab and popping his ass back. And when if he went to go throw a hook or he went to go throw like that lead uppercut, sometimes he was getting text for that shit. But Eddie Futch kind of like picked on that. And one time I seen an interview where he was talking about how he recognized that shit and he went right at it. And ever since then, I thought he was like one of the dopest minds I could ever. So I just started digging into him. I dug a lot into Cuss. I had books on these guys, just trying to understand how they think because I never got a chance to meet them. But I was just like always fascinated by like some of the work that I saw.
yeah. I ain't mad at that.
Man, he was old when he got beat by a guy with 7 pro fights, man. It's context, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Context to that.
Yeah, that's true. And he rematched him and beat him.
That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, dog. Context, dog.
Yeah, and you got to remember that guy was an Olympian. He wasn't sweet.
And plus, Muhammad Ali just the boy that really fought everybody.
Yeah,
He rumbled you. A couple people
yeah,
whooped him. He whooped people. Yeah, you know I mean, but he rumbled you. And he did the impossible sometimes. How you can't love? I don't know how you don't love Muhammad Ali. I love Muhammad Ali.
Do you think the skill set in the I'm gonna say the out of like the 80s and 90s heavyweights has changed from then to now?
They was used to be better when you talking about Riddick Bowe and them was better.
Mm.
Tyson Fury pretty good, but I thought like it's several guys back in the day. I figured I think they were better, but when Tyson Fury, it's just his size with his level of agility for that size. That's just some shit. It would be hard for Muhammad Ali to beat him, probably.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Think
appreciate all
about
the
that. If Muhammad
donations,
Ali
man.
had to fight Tyson Fury, it'd be hard for him to beat him. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he better than Muhammad Ali though.
yeah,
Styles big fights.
but it would be hard because of the size. We talking about 300-pound man.
Wilder hit that motherfucker with the Alabama slam, and he hit him one time. Wilder hit him with a three-piece, right? He landed all three punches. Wilder never do that. He landed one, two, and the hook. That
Mm.
motherfucker got up like Undertaker.
Damn sure did.
And he and
Yeah.
he good. Like he not a bum and he big as shit. Like
Who the next? Who the next best heavyweight you think it will be?
out of everybody we got right now,
Yeah,
I hope it's Big Baby, but sometimes I worry about his size because a lot of these guys they be big like with the whole Wilder, AJ, Fury era. These guys are like huge, man. Even like that Big Baby Jarrell Miller, that guy's like 300 pounds. It's like the guys are like bigger now, right? So
yeah,
sometimes when I look at Jared, I'm like, damn, man, like how does this size fare out? But I like him, man. That's the one I hope. You know what I mean? Getting and he on some American heavyweight shit. Like we need Big Baby.
yeah. How would you? How you see Better Be at versus Bivol?
Bro, I don't think nobody could take that shit Bitter Beef be doing. Bitter Beef, some other shit, bro. Bitter Beef, bro. And I like Bivol, bro. I do. Like I respect Bivol hand. I really respect his hand, man. But that Bitter Beef, bro, he could punch, man. Like that shit, like it be like he got like a little metal rod or something. And he like hitting somebody with like the way it be breaking them down, it's like the cops hit him with that metal baton joint or something.
Yeah,
That boy hit hard as shit, bro.
yeah,
He from like where Khabib and them, they wrestle bears.
I think he Russian,
Yeah, they
and
be
they
wrestling bears for
and
fun.
they
Like
got
a
like a
little
touch
bear
of
cub, they're wrestling for fun. Like he's strong as shit, bro. He hit hard, bro.
it. Yo, so in your way, how good is he?
Anyway, can't take nothing from anyway. Anyway, fast as shit. And anyway could punch.
What do you see from him though that make him like what he is?
I think his in and out, and I think he really hit hard. Like I think he hit hard. Like you know how some of them people you look at him like Manny Pacquiao. We knew Manny Pacquiao hit hard, but as time went on, you realize that he really hits hard. At first, you like, yo, he court Bol and knocked him the fuck out. Oh, he knocked out such and such. Oh, he pieced up such and such. Look at his face. Then you realize one day you start talking about him different. You like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you, man. He'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
We wasn't like that at first, but the whole time he was punching that hard. I think that anyway.
Mm.
That's what I
What
think
you
of.
think? So what you think Pacquiao gift is like besides the power?
Pacquiao is awkward, and anytime you get an awkward fighter is hard for technical fighters. So if you get a good awkward fighter, you get these Joe Calzaghes and these Manny Pacquiaos. They throw the punches in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
They do. I seen Manny Pacquiao throw from a southpaw stance. Manny Pacquiao threw hook from the rear hand, from the left. He threw hook, uppercut, hook, uppercut. That's dumb.
Yeah.
I never did that on pads, but he
Yeah.
threw that in the fight. You ain't practice
Yeah,
no defense for that.
he did.
That's
Especially
wrong.
for especially for it to be back to back like that.
That's what makes awkward fighters and guys who have like awkward things about them. It makes it. I think that really makes them hard to deal with. I learned that in the amateurs. There's a couple guys in the amateurs who have certain awkward things about him, and I realized like, yo, his punches be in the wrong fucking spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might go catch, and put your hand right here, and he do some dumb loop shit and the shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what be happening. That's what be
Yeah.
happening. I'll be like, damn, you was on point. He was wrong. And you was in autopilot because you done trained your defensive sets. So you done did the right shit, and he done do the wrong shit, so it caught you, right?
Mm.
That's when my mind says what's right and what's wrong. Because it's not
What's
wrong if I practice it.
yeah, true.
If I practice it and I'm efficient at it, it's not wrong for me. It's wrong if you do it, probably. It's
Yeah.
probably wrong on average. And me doing that, I'm probably gambling something. So I need to watch it, right? But it's not necessarily wrong if it works for me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I try to be open-minded in that way.
So I'm just painting the picture. We out in the nationals. You the coach. We got 4 or 5 guys. What's the schedule like? What's the mode like? You know what I mean? What's the mindset like for you?
You up at 5. I'm up at 5 and I'm walking around and shit, and I'm gonna wake them up about 5:40 because they gotta be over there at 6. I don't want them woke that long before they get on the scale. They might be hungry,
Mm-hmm.
right? I might have had to run them last night. So I wake them up, and all they do is hop in their little sweatsuits and put their little Crocs and flip flops and dumb shit on, and I run them over to the arena, depending on how far I am from the arena, because I like to stay in Airbnbs, right? Run them over there. They all go in there. Then they gonna come out. Sometimes they come out one by one. Sometimes a couple of them that's in the same age bracket might come out together or whatever. And I'm taking them back to eat, and they relaxing. And then we chilling, and then about 10:30 we get to talking about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm putting together my table and shit. And I'm pulling out my tape and my gloves and everything. And I'm talking to everybody what my points and PowerPoints and all of that shit is for our fight or whatever our situation is that day. Cause I gotta get everybody one on one. And then as I'm rapping them, I'm talking to them again. And we kind of reiterating and we getting it together. And then, 10 minutes before shit about to kick off, we on our way to the arena to go fight. And that's like
Yeah.
at 12 o'clock. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And after that, you win all of them. You might drop one, whatever. You get done that, and you go back and you kind of take a load off, and then I might take them to the gym, um, or I might train them at wherever I'm at. I like to get places like, what I mean, might have a backyard or something, or I might utilize a park, or like when I be in Texas, I go to a gym, shit like
Yeah.
that. Um, shit, I might got cryotherapy appointments for them. I might have found the freeze box. I'm doing recovery. Um, Sometimes we might just be watching film. We might just be watching our fights from earlier. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of having them in the phase where they like thinking boxing, and then I give them some space, and then we kind of go do that shit again the next day, and it's kind of like a recurring thing. And the goal is to be doing that shit on Saturday.
So that was my next question. Like, how are you able to program your mind to get one kid specifically ready for another kid when you got 3 or 4 more other guys to do that for?
Train for the board. I don't train for nobody in particular. It's a
Mm.
few kids that I have trained for in particular that you might want to. Is you have these anomalies, but outside of that, you kind of you got to be ready for anything because you don't know who you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know when you're gonna get them. You don't fucking know, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta be ready for all of it. So I just try to have the guys prepared. Most of the good guys around the country, I know who you are. You could surprise me, but it ain't too much surprising me because I know everybody. And but sometimes somebody come out. Somebody can have a breakout. You know what I mean? It might be somebody that was alright, but now he in here heavy. This, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it be happening. Kids be blossoming and shit, man. You had late bloomers, all sorts of things like that. So, the whole thing is just try to be ready for anything. Just try to, you know what I mean, be the best that you can. I kind of, with my guys, we kind of deal with what we're dealing with. We don't deal with what other people dealing with. It's too many people for you to try to deal with what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to put you in a position where you're going to have to deal with our bullshit.
Right. How how important is it to connect with other coaches, even though you may be in competition with those coaches at that point? But how important is it to connect with other coaches from different cities and stuff like that?
Oh man, my son do a majority of his match bouts, like his majority of his like regular fights, they be like in the DC area. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm good buddies with Daryl Davis down there, Oxon Hill. One of his kids, his main kid, is up at the Pan Americans right now, Jamal Harvey. He
yeah,
coached Molly, and that's one of my brothers in this game, and he does a lot of matchmaking up and down the East Coast. Period.
yeah.
So I kind of been my kids kind of been riding with that. Sometimes I matchmake them. I sign them up for shows depending on who need to take a show or whatever. But for real, we more so tournament guys. We
Yeah,
tournament fighters for the most part.
yeah. Is it expensive?
Yeah, it should get expensive, but I get help. I mean, parents be paying some, and then I, what I mean. I sometimes um we might receive donations. A lot of the times we just paying for this shit ourselves though, and just I this what I do for my son. This
Do
what
you
he do.
feel, even though your son is boxing, do you feel like a father to the other kids too?
Yeah, I got one whose father passed away. I had another one whose father also his father was deceased as well. I have a couple of them. Their fathers are incarcerated, and I've spent time incarcerated before this whole coaching journey and all that stuff in my early 20s, and so yeah, I have a father uncle presence on some of them. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. I feel like that's what I was put here to, be able to do for him. Like it's my calling. Cause I didn't really set out to be everybody's coach, bro. Like, and there's been times I wanted to be like selfish and just coach my own son, but like a law just wouldn't really see it that way. Like it would like something weird would happen. Somebody would like just be offering me money, like, nah, man, like I'll pay you, man. Come on, dog. Like I need you to coach my son. Like it would be some shit would just happen, like, or somebody would be in a bad predicament and they need my help, and I'm like, I'm generous in that way. Like if you ain't ever do nothing to me, and any kid that ever was around me, they all could like come back to me and I help them like to a degree or whatever. You know what I mean? Even like with Malachi. Malachi's doing well. Him and Tone doing well. Malachi spent time with me too. Sometimes Tone bring him in the gym. He go work with Rel. Sometimes I'll take Mal and say, "Yo, Mal, you ain't doing this. Let's do this. Let's work on this. Let's work on that." I'll show him a little shit, whatever I saw him doing that bothered me. He take his little shit, go ahead on about his business. We go down nationals. We go win. I still was in the corner with him, me, Rel, and his dad. So you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't even be tripping off of that. Like you know what I mean? Whatever is best for whatever kid, because I don't really expect nothing out of my kids. Like
Mm.
I'm not like coaching them and like, oh, we gonna go pro and I'm gonna make $1 million with these kids. Me and my son do what we do, but everybody else, they kids that I coach and I mentor, and I love
Yeah.
them. And that's all it be.
Right. How are you when it comes to working with other coaches or having your, like if you in the gym and you just want your son or one of the other fighters to get some pad work from another coach or some advice? How are you about things like that?
You already know how I am, but for the people, because I know that's why you asked me.
Hmm.
Certain people I let touch my son, and other than that, I'm kind of I'm kind of particular. But I have coaches that I know. It's coaches that I learned from. Like for instance, you worked with my son. Rel will work with my son. If Ed Dennis is around, Ed could work with my son.
Hmm.
If he see Mr. Rev go and tell him come here and put his elbows in. I ain't gonna say shit. You see what I'm saying? Um, if you see Danny Davis might say whatever the fuck came to his mind. I'm not gonna say shit. These is my elders. So like when it come to like that, I'll let people touch him in that way. But for the most part, I train them. You know what I mean? You know how we are.
Yeah. How? Like, how is it when somebody's trying to be overwhelming and trying to kick out information, and they might got a whole nother situation going on, and you got your kid, focusing on something. How is it? How do you deal with people like that? That just they just overwhelmed and they come in the gym just trying to coach or trying to let it be known what they know. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Honestly, bro, I stay away from know-it-alls. Like I try my best. Like you know how I am about that kind of shit. I go in the back. Like yeah, I mean, I share some information. Somebody share some information with me and tell my. I'm kind of like communal, but I kind of stay in the same places, right? So because I
Yeah,
be in the same places and it be like the same faces for the most part, the relationships are already built. I could come in the gym and my son might be over there fucking with Gio, but he been doing that since he was like 14. So I don't be tripping. Like him and Gio allowed to do what him and Gio do. I know what they do because Gio will come and show respect and have a conversation with me. He not like trying to just work with my son and doing some bullshit, but he'll be like, "Yo, Liam had King because he was da da da. We was doing this and this and that. I was gonna ask you da 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 da." I'll be like, "Yeah, Gio, go ahead, do whatever you're gonna do." Cause I already know what my son on. He want to keep his arms pumping. Gio love holding the fucking pads. They doing their thing. I don't trip. You know what I'm saying? When it
yeah,
come to that, I'm not like you know what I mean? As long as like I respect what you teaching and stuff like that though. Cause I ain't
yeah.
trying to put no wrong stuff. And then you gotta unteach shit and all that. I ain't trying to get into that. So
What do you see the difference is working with amateurs and working with professional fighters?
man, pros, they be already set and they be hard headed sometimes. But then some of them they be open books. The hardest part is you dealing with a fighter that you didn't create or teach for me. If you me, right? I'm dealing with a guy I didn't necessarily like teaching, right? But I'm dealing with it, and it's like certain stuff about it that I don't like. Like he might have his hands a certain way, and I'm like, "Yo, like, what are you doing?" Like, you see what I'm saying? And it's uh, like he's a grown man already and shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
at that point, it's like, is he receptive to information? For me, I done went with Mr. Rev, ran second, shit like that. But for me, I kind of been like, I want to wait until my guys get up because I want to go with my product first. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I know what it is because I did it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Other opportunities have presented themselves and I've taken them, and maybe another one will, and I'll take it. But I don't be searching.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? I be cool off of that. Like, you know what I mean? And then the way people be acting and shit like that, man, I'm cool off of that shit.
yeah. We don't got time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna put it in your hands. I mean, any questions you have or anything you want to talk about?
Man, I don't even know, bro. We kind of bro, cause you know me and you we do this all the time. But we
Yeah,
was just talking about like the whole coaching thing. I just think like for me, when you see those the conversations about the trainer versus the coach versus the
yeah,
teacher, all three of those are important. And truth be told, a lot of people that's commenting on it, I mean, I'm not the authority or nothing. I'm humble. But you probably ain't master all three, so maybe you could be humble too, OG, whoever the OG is. Like, and to the dad, how you gonna know more than him? And he been doing it 30 years. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. Like, just listen and learn some shit before you get your son beat up. You know what I mean? And like, if these arguments and shit could like find a way to stop and shit, man, it'd be much better for the fighters and shit, man. Much better for the kids that's trying to learn. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like I know like my kids benefit from like when I be in the gym with you or when I be in the gym with Rail, they benefit from I walk off and Rail taught them some shit or Rail walk off and I didn't taught one of them some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They get better like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Hopefully guys could like, you know, stop the like the shot, like the throwing of the shots and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be unnecessary because it's all important. It's all different aspects. If you get in
yeah.
fighters sharp, but you can't really guide them through the fight, like what is record gonna be hitting for?
Mm.
What is win percentage gonna be hitting for? You can't guide him through the fight unless he just a kick ass bull and all he needed was somebody to show him how to throw punches. And them kind of kids only come 1 in 50.
Mm,
You know that. We be in a boxing gym every day. That kind of kid come 1 in 50. That
yeah,
all you had to do was show him how to punch because he already kind of knew how to fight when he came in this motherfucker.
he already
If you
game.
can't, if you can't guide through a fight, if you ain't got that kid, you ain't going. You see what I'm saying? But if you can't move this fighter properly, you might make him quit. When you talking about
Mm,
the amateurs, you can make a joker quit getting him beat up too much too early.
yeah.
So you know,
Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos.
Shakur. But Edwin don't give a fuck though. Edwin not about to come in here and be no. Nah, he not. He
Yeah.
not. He about to come try to fight, but he gonna get figured out. And when he get figured out, that's how
If he
Shakur.
do, if he do get a chance, like if he do have one thing to beat Shakur, what would it be?
He might not feel embarrassed when he get caught and keep fighting. I think he got it in him to be like that. You know, like when you fight a sharp dude like Shakur, you gotta be able to fight past embarrassment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You gotta be
yeah.
able to like when he catch you with the straight left and you look like salty, you gotta not give a fuck and still go up in there and throw another 3 punches. Like you see what I'm saying? You gotta be thugging. And like I think he got the character to be like that. Like I
Hmm.
think he gonna be
But you
thugging.
don't think,
Like
but you
now,
don't think it's gonna last long.
yeah, long as it lasts, and then he gonna get figured out, and then he gonna get pieced up.
Mm, that's a great breakdown.
That's what I think of that fight. Know what I'm saying? Who else fight this year before the year out?
Um, Benavidez, Boo Boo Andre.
Boo Boo ain't fight nobody good in a minute.
Mm,
He ain't fight nobody good in a minute, and Benavidez too big for that weight class. He had through a 7 piece. His defense be offense,
for Benavidez.
but Boo Boo got skill. But it'd be hard for me to rate guys when I ain't seen them in there with no live dog in a minute, man. That should be crazy, bro. Cause you know, like that layoff shit, man. People say it don't matter, but Errol Spence and Scooter, bro, like they both ain't fight for like 14, 15 months.
No, that shit definitely play a part.
That's what I'm saying.
That shit definitely play a part. And I be wondering why like guys don't try to work out and they deal where they could go ahead and take a tune up, or you know what I mean, or why won't they? I think sometimes guys reach a level and they be like, I don't want to go backwards, but it's not necessarily going backwards. It's staying sharp. You know what I mean? If you know you ain't put on a pair of 8 ounces in a while, and you ain't had that shit thrown at you where you can see that speed and you know what I mean, you feel the difference in powers
Facts.
like that. I think you definitely will have trouble. You know what I mean? Especially fighting at a higher level. You know what I mean? You fighting a guy who not fucking around at all. You know what I mean? But you ain't been in the ring fight wise in a year and a half and shit like that.
Frank Martin and Richardson Hitchens.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna pick Richardson Hitchens because in situations like that, I'm picking the boxing lifer over the guy that started when he was like 16.
Yeah.
I
And
like both of them fighters. I'm
and to
not
think
just
of
saying, I'm not just picking Haiti because he Haiti and I'm from Haiti. I really think that like when a guy been boxing like he got like a lot of experience. It's like a guy that started boxing when he was 14 and he wound up getting real good, but he got boxed like Salim. And Salim been boxing since he was 9 and been boxing the best guys that you can find in the United States since he was like fucking 10, 11 years old.
and
You
been
see what I'm saying? It'd be hard. Like it'd be hard for you to get over. It'd be hard. So
and he been in there with some pros too.
you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
his development, it's like he's
I even I
16.
even I even boxed him before.
See what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I be humble about all of that, but he's coming along, man. He getting stronger now. He walks around about 34 now.
How you feel about Andy Cruz?
That's my man. I love Andy Cruz.
Did you get a chance to watch him box yet?
I'm about to go down there. I was waiting for Christian to come back so Salim could box Christian. I'm about to call Mr. Boozy. He told me to call him when Christian came back.
So what you think about Andy Cruz? What you think make him good?
Andy Cruz, man, Andy Cruz slick as fuck, bro. He got a sharp mind. Like he like Rigondeaux in that sense. Like all of the Cubans don't be exactly like this. He real sharp thinking wise. Even if the punch is not always as tight as you would, you know what I'm saying? Like the thought is sharp. And then like he he moved like in another dimension. So you know how like we'll teach a guy to move side to side, right? Slip, slip, right? Slip, slip. Andy Cruz is slip, slip, back, right?
Mm.
So that's another guess you gotta make,
Mm.
right? So when he go here, he not guaranteed to come back here for you to throw your right hand. He could go here and come back. And if you throw something, when he here, he could go this way or this way. And that's really how he box. If you watch him, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm saying? And just that
Mm-hmm.
extra motion, that extra move, make it harder for you to predict where he gonna be at. Because
Right.
every time he move, he could be in two places instead of one. Where what we teach people in America is like he on this side or he on this side, or he ruled this way or he ruled this way, right?
But really the whole time he reset the distance.
See what I'm saying? So once you
Yeah.
realize, like, okay, if I could make another dimension for you to have to guess, that you just more you like what white people call that a clusterfuck. You in a clusterfuck. You are. You are because you don't know. You like, damn, then he gonna go this way or this way or this way or this way. Then you swing and he moved and he hit you. Wow, that should be crazy.
So they saying Amanda Serrano versus Danila Ramos, first female 12-round bout with 3 minutes. What you think about that?
Uh, honestly, what a lot of them females they be boxing guys and shit when they be in the gym. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They gonna make the fight a little bit longer. If it's a good fight, then you know what I mean. Maybe them making the fights longer, it might make some of them Jones end the knockout that maybe would have won in the decision. Somebody
Right.
might, you know what I mean. It might be like that, but I don't think it's like a safety joint or nothing. Um, at this level, that sports science and the way like shit, you look at like how Clarissa be and shit like that, and she could box 3 minutes and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a big deal. It's gonna be different though, but
I respect female boxing, but the only thing I don't like about it, I'll be like thinking if I was if that was my girl and she come home with her shit black and blue, I would feel some kind of way, man. I'd be like pissed off, man.
yo,
I-
and then some of them don't even like Ebony. Like, remember when Ebony Bridges used to be at our gym? When I
yeah,
first seen her, I'm like, damn, you a boxer?
yeah.
Like, if that was my girl, bro, I'd be hot if she had, bro. I'd be hot every time she had to fight. One time she fought her, she was black. I would have, if I would have been her dude, bro, sick.
Real shit. Oshaki Foster versus Eduardo Hernandez this Saturday.
I think I'm rocking with Oshaki.
I like him. He can box.
I like Oshaki.
To go in there, to go in there and get a title shot versus Ray Vargas and then win. Ray Vargas slick, man. Ray Vargas, he could do the Mexican thing or he could box you. You know what I
You
mean?
gotta
And
watch people like him.
right. And the way he composed himself and did what he did, man, I thought that was
You
impressive.
listen, the worst to me, the Mexican boxers you gotta really watch is them ones. You gotta watch like the Marco Antonio Barrera,
Yeah.
Marquez, El Finito Lopez.
Eric
Yeah, I mean, I can't
Morales.
speak on Salvador Sanchez that much. It ain't that much footage. You know, I liked him though, and what I saw, he was kicking ass. But like them Mexicans that they kind of like fighting, but they be boxing though. That shit be crazy. Like Barrera to me, bro. Marco Antonio Barrera, he's like him and El Finito Lopez, bro. Them dudes is crazy.
Yeah. They said Raymond Muratala. How you feel about him at 135?
Who?
Raymond Muratala. I think I seen him fight like one time. I'm about to put him on right now.
I can't put my finger on Raymond Montano right now, and I be watching a lot of boxing.
Real
I be
shit.
watching shit all the time. I be watching crazy shit. You ever fall asleep watching boxing on YouTube and wake up and it be a weird ass fight you never seen before? I
Yeah.
go to sleep, it be some Telemundo shit on. When I wake up,
Roach.
like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Cause it just be going to different fights, different fights. I just be watching that shit. Sometimes I be seeing fighters fight. I ain't even know who they was. I just was watching the boxing.
They said Alex Rocha and Santillion. Did you see that fight? I saw that fight. I felt like I felt like Alex Rocha gave too much respect right away to Santillion, and Santillion really just bullied him around. He got a heavy Santillion got a heavy left hand, a heavy right hand. I mean, he was throwing deadly shots, pressuring him out. I mean, it was kind of like he was in there with his little brother. Like he knew everything that Rocha was trying to do, but he wasn't letting him do it. Wasn't letting him
Yeah.
get away with that shit.
Who
I
the
s-
who the boy Lamont about to fight?
Lamont who?
Roach.
Lamont Roach is supposed to fight that fight supposed to been signed for a long time. I'm trying to think. I forgot his name. I forgot
Hector
about that fight.
Garcia.
Oh yeah, Hector Garcia, that the one that takes stop. But he beat Chris Colbert.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he beat B Hop. That was crazy. B Hop wasn't on point. That was crazy.
I felt like he just wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't on point. Like he wasn't on point.
Like he took him light. You know what I mean? He wasn't ready. And
Mattia versus Tio.
that's a good fight.
Trayvon Marshall, his coach, like yo, that's Andrew fighter. I
Yeah.
like Trayvon though.
Yeah, I mean he suffered that loss, but I feel like Young Boy could come back from that.
Yeah,
I mean, he only like 22 years old,
yeah, yeah.
and he learned the lesson. You know what I mean? He had to learn the lesson. He got to kick it up. You know what I mean? But I'm watching this boy Raymond Muratala right now, and this motherfucker look explosive from what I see. He look kind
You
of big.
watching me? When I
Yeah, he look.
when
He look.
when I
He
get
look.
when I get off, I'm gonna go turn on the I call it my textbook when I start watching boxing.
Yeah, he look kind of big too for 35.
Boots
Boots.
versus Rashidi. Rashidi lost, and he was supposed to. That's what was supposed to happen. Rashidi fucked it up. He gotta get back.
Yeah, he definitely got to get back.
That was
But who?
supposed to happen when Boots had to fight that bull, the boy
Karen.
that beat Rashidi
Oh, Villa.
Villa.
Yeah,
Hmm.
true. So who you think Rashid need to beat to get back in position?
I don't know who gatekeeping.
I mean, it's some tough ones.
Who gatekeeping at 47 right now?
It's some
Amir
tough.
Khan ain't around no more. Amir Khan was the gate. Like you did like who the gate?
I don't know. It's starting to open back up. You think he should
Cause anyway,
rematch?
the ex champions moving up. Cause Danny and all of them moving up. Sean not fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who the gatekeeper is. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know who the gatekeepers is, bro.
You
I
think
don't know
you
who he
think
supposed to fight.
somebody said Ugas?
Ugas, cause he just lost to Barrios.
You think he should get a rematch with Villa?
A rematch with Villa. They ain't a bad fight.
Mm.
They ain't a bad fight because for real, he wasn't. He well, if he could win a rematch with Villa, you know what I'm saying? He just got to do something. I don't know. They'll figure out something for him to do.
How good is Tim Zoo?
How good is who?
Tim Zoo.
I don't know. Tim Zoo go hard. He got some power. I respect Tim Zoo.
Hmm.
I think I don't know. I would pick Charlo to beat him, but then see Charlo, right? This where he messed me up at. You know how his attitude, how they attitude be. He didn't have no attitude versus Canelo.
Hmm.
That bothers me, right? And so he didn't handle attitude versus Canelo. Then he had the performance he had versus Canelo. Now I don't know how to take him. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the person who I used to always know, who I felt as though, yo, Canelo probably wound up catching him. Because he going to stand in the bucket and throw some shit at Canelo at some point. And Canelo probably wound up catching him. He ain't do it.
Yeah.
And if he fight Tim Tszyu going to try to rumble you. He don't give a fuck. Y'all is rumbling. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Shape. That's like when a fighter comes somewhere and now he get into the situation and he out of character, that always bothers me.
What is YouTube doing on the fall? Let me
If
see.
Villa box Barrios beat Ugas, he should be getting a better fight than Villa now. Like he deserved to get a one up.
Mm. So what about Barrios and Boots?
Yeah, Barrios was the gatekeeper. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Steven. I say it was Barrios. I say it was Mario Barrios. I say that.
But what about Tim Zoo? I mean, what about I'm tripping. What about Boots and Barrios?
Boots and Mario Barrios. Boots finna beat Mario Barrios. He ain't fast enough. Boots will look good in that fight.
Yeah.
That's one of them Jones here. He'll do some of his bullshitting. Like, I don't know if he'll do the slow motion. He might do slow motion. You know, Boots guy, he be playing and shit. Boots always playing.
What you think about Kermel Moulton?
Huh?
Kermel Moulton.
I know young boy.
What you think about him?
Him and Salim pretty cool. He I like Carmel. Disciplined kid. Um when Carmel was like 12, Carmel was losing like 8 pounds. And niggas don't be losing that much weight when they be that small. They be losing like 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Carmel was disciplined. He could lose like 8. He run all night, right? One time they had him, so I think we was at the Silver Glove. They had him out there running his ass off, right? So I seen him running. So I'm like, I'm waiting for the next day. I'm like, I'm gonna watch his fight. I will see if he tired. This motherfucker legs gonna be shot. Bro, it was like they put a battery in him or something. He was just going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I seen him, I think I only really seen him lose like twice. He lost to
Mm.
Breeshawn Johnson one time when I had took the kids to the Silver Gloves a long time ago. And he had lost to Zay, Shakur and them little cousin. That was
Yeah.
recent though. But
Yeah.
when he left the amateurs, I was like, he don't really got no reason to stay in the amateurs because what would he be staying to do? Like make his portfolio? Like he already know who he gonna get signed to. He already in position to be famous. Sponsorship on his trunks, whatever, whatever. Like his the game laid out for him already. So if he would have stayed, he was just giving people more chances to beat him.
Mm. What about if you had Edwin De Los Santos? What would be the game plan versus Shakur? Oh shit! I think his phone might have chopped. Dawud. Yeah. Look for the counter. I don't know what happened, ladies and gentlemen, but listen, it was a great live. You know what I mean? If y'all didn't tap in, if you didn't make it, it's okay. It's gonna be here. GHB TV. I appreciate y'all. I really do, man. Appreciate the donations. Appreciate all the love. Auntie, I didn't skip over your comment. I saw you was popping. What's going on? I mean, this was a great live. You can catch me at Greg Hackett 86 on Instagram, Greg Hackett 215 on X, aka Twitter, Greg Hackett on Facebook. Get with me. Appreciate y'all.